Hey everyone, my name is Tim Marriott. I'm the school counselor for online programs for the Iron County School District. For those who were unable to attend our back to school night, I want to give you a review of some of the items that we discussed. And so I will be talking about our Iron Online 7 through 12 program. So many of you have heard the name Spark as the name of our program. So Spark is actually the name of the curriculum that we're using, and that's just kind of caught on as the name of the program. But just so you know where that name comes from, Spark is actually the curriculum that we use, that we purchased through a contractor. So the main thing that I want to hit on is graduation requirements. So those students that are working in Spark and online programs in high school, in grades 9 through 12, will be working towards a 24 credit diploma. Online programs falls under Southwest Education Academy, and this is their graduation requirements. Now you'll notice that all of the graduation requirements are pretty similar between the other schools in Iron County. We've got Cedar High School, Canyon View High School, and then Parowan High School. You'll notice that all the core classes are all the same. And the only thing that really is different is when you get down here towards the electives. SEA requires 5.5 electives. Cedar High School requires 10 electives. Canyon View 13 and Parowan 12.5. So you'll notice the only difference between our schools is how many electives that are required. So that's why we only require 24 credits, because we only require fewer electives. Now these diplomas are the same. They're still legit high school diplomas. We are accredited through the same program that Cedar High School and Canyon View and Parowan are. And again, the only difference between our diploma and the others, or our graduation requirements, are the electives. The state of Utah says that 5.5 credits is the minimum you need to have, but you can bump that up. And so the other schools have bumped that up. And the reason for that is they're doing more classes per day. So as an online student, you'd be working towards a 24 credit diploma. If you would like to stay on track with your boundary school, then you need to speak with me and make sure we change your track and make sure we're enrolling you in more classes than we currently have you enrolled in. So some students have asked me if they can walk at their boundary school. So the answer to that question is yes, you can walk at your boundary school. However, there are a couple stipulations. One, if you graduate with online programs, then you will receive a high school diploma from Southwest Education Academy. You would not receive a Cedar High School or a Canyon View diploma. You would receive one from Southwest Education Academy. The other thing is, if you want to walk at your boundary school's graduation ceremony, you must meet the graduation requirements of that school. So that means that while you're still getting a Southwest Education Academy diploma, you still need to meet all the requirements that are seen on this chart. So if you want to walk at Canyon View, then you need to get 13 electives. You need to reach those 32 credits. And even though you reach those 32 credits online, that still does not give you a Canyon View diploma. You still get a Southwest Education Academy diploma because you were enrolled in our school. Now, if you're in our programs and you transfer back to your boundary school your senior year, that's a completely different thing. You would be enrolled at that school and you would walk with that school, assuming you make the graduation requirements. So again, if you have questions about that, please reach out to me. And SEA will have its own graduation ceremony for its graduates. So if you don't know already, students can take up to 2 classes their boundary school. That's middle school and high school. So if you're interested in taking a couple classes, please get a hold of me as soon as possible. One little note is Cedar High School and Canyon View have increased enrollment, and a lot of their electives are full. And so we'll have to navigate that as far as looking at different classes if you're interested in. But a lot of those classes that students like to do, foods, welding, auto, a lot of those classes have already been filled. If you're a middle school student, this is what your schedule will look like online. Middle school students don't have much of a variety. As you know, they're in the middle school, they kind of have a set schedule that they give you, and these are the required classes for middle school. But again, if you want to take some classes at your boundary school, you're more than welcome to. So they have the orchestra, band, they have different art classes, different foreign languages. So those are some options if there's room in those classes. This form you'll be provided with. This is a form that your outreach coach will also talk to you and a parent about. So these different areas are what makes a successful online learner. And what we'd like you to do is have a conversation with a parent or guardian and kind of find out where your skills lie. Are you one star in work and study habits, and you might be 3 stars in time management, and it could be all over the place. But our goal is to work with you and to make sure that you're developing the skills necessary to be successful online and stay on track with all your peers that are in person schooling. So we'll talk more about that form, but you'll be receiving that in your packet. So communication will be very important. We will not be seeing students on a regular basis like you would at a traditional school. And so we will be using the app Remind to communicate text messaging and phone calls with parents and students. Now, the reason why we're using Remind is because as far as text messaging goes, it saves those text messages. So it's actually kind of a little protection for students and for staff that those messages can't be deleted, and there is a record of those conversations. As far as emails go, we'll use our school email addresses. And so what we would ask you to do is text this number 81010, and the message is at ICSD Online. That will enroll you into our communication so we can reach out to you, and then you can reach out to us. So if you have any questions about that, please let us know, but we would highly encourage you to subscribe to this so we'll be able to contact you as needed. So with our online programs, we have several student supports. The nice thing is the teachers of our courses are district teachers within Iron County. They're all highly qualified in their subject area. We'll have outreach coaches that will be assigned to each student who will be reaching out to you as needed. It could be on a weekly basis, maybe every other week, and sometimes several times a week, depending on the needs of the student. We'll have tutors. We'll have technology support. I am the school counselor. We'll have special education, and then obviously administrative support. Our principal is Steve Schofield, and our director of online programs is Corey Henwood. Just a few other items. As far as PowerSchool goes, PowerSchool will only be used in online programs to store your final grades. Now, if you're taking classes at your boundary school, then you'll use PowerSchool to track those classes and those grades and assignments. But as far as online classes, they will not be updated regularly in PowerSchool. You will use your Spark portal to check progress and grades. If you did Spark last year, you noticed that there were pre-assessments that were given at the beginning of each course, and we will not be using pre-assessments this year. Students will be expected to start the course at the beginning and complete the course to the very end and finish each of the different modules in the course. If a student did Spark last year or during summer school, those classes do not carry over. So if you finished halfway through Geography Quarter 1, but you didn't finish it, unfortunately, you don't start halfway through Geography Quarter 1. You have to start that course over. Spark has updated their courses, make sure the links are working, and they create new courses for the new year. So those previous courses are not accessible anymore as far as going back and starting where you had left off. You basically, if you didn't finish, you have to start over. And finally, if you did summer school, just want to double check with me. If you earned credit, let's say that you were at Cedar High School when you were in summer school, but then you transferred over to us, and the summer school credit didn't put on your transcript because they transferred your records over to us. We just don't want to make sure, we don't want to have any credit get lost And so if you did summer school and you think you earned credit, just double check with me and I can make sure that credit gets put on your transcript. So what I'd like to do is just do a quick demo of Spark. This is what the students will use. So I've logged in right here, and you'll get your login. So the portal address that we'll use is iron.sparkeducation.com. So please make sure you're using this address. If you just Google Spark, you'll probably pull up another website that belongs to another school, and your username and password will not work. So make sure you're using that web address. So when a student logs in for the first time, there's a couple things I want to point out to you. One, this first thing, there's just some different announcements that might be happening. So pay attention to those. We'll have different things that are going on. We'll make you aware through announcements, but we'll also make sure we're sending that out to parents through Remind. This student right here is enrolled in several courses. If you were to log into your account right now, most likely you'll see all of your courses look like this, meaning your courses are locked. We don't want students starting on their courses before school starts, so they are locked until August 17th at 6 a.m. So you won't be able to get in there and look at your courses yet. But I've included some old courses because I want to show you a couple things. So this student right here has completed basically 4 modules of this online course. This green right here means the module is completed. If you saw a red one, that means it was failed, so this student failed a quiz. There's also different colors for assignments have been submitted but haven't been graded. And so as you hover over them, it will tell you what the status is of that module. Now the other important thing to notice is it shows a grade right now. So by default, Spark gives every student an A+ to begin with. And as you're working through your different assignments, this grade will change. Now, sometimes students haven't even started a class and it shows that they have an A+. And that can be a little bit deceiving. So we've had students, be a little tricky and they haven't started on a course, but they'll show their parents that they have an A+ in it. And really they haven't even done anything. So if you hover over this A+, it's going to bring up another box. And it's going to show that you basically have 0 progress done. And if you were to stop today, you would have a 0% F. So parents, make sure, if you're checking on your students and you're checking their progress on a regular basis, that you're hovering over that grade. It'll give you more information. And that current grade can be a little bit deceiving. It's not a true accurate picture of where they're at. So make sure you're checking their progress and checking their opt-out grade as well. Please note again that students need to finish the entire course. So for instance, this student, that's a pre-assessment, we're not doing those, but you'll see that all of these boxes are in green. To be awarded credit, we need to see that all of the boxes are in green and they've all been passed and completed. Students can work at their own pace. They can move ahead. They cannot go as slow as they want. So students are generally assigned about 6 classes per quarter, unless you're on a different track as far as trying to stay on your boundary school track. So it'd be the expectation that students that are enrolled in Spark have each of their classes completed by the end of the first quarter. If they're not being completed, then obviously we'll be having discussions in the meantime, but that's just putting you further behind and off track for graduation. Our outreach coaches will be reaching out to you during that first week, making sure there's not any issues with your username and passwords, and make sure things are spelled right. And if there's any issues, they can definitely troubleshoot those for you. So my contact information is right here. This is my email. Our future office location will be in the building just southeast of the district office. It's in a building that looks just like the district office. We'll be up on the 2nd floor in there. There's currently a business in there, but we should be in there during that first week of when school starts, hopefully. So as of right now, I don't have a telephone number email is the best way to get a hold of me. So if you have any questions, again, please reach out by email and I will get back with you. Thank you, and we will talk with you soon.